Good morning, Forex news traders, and welcome to your weekly fundamental analysis for the week commencing the 23rd of February 2015. So, we're going to have a look at what happened last week and how that set the tone for the sentiment rolling into the beginning of this week, and then from there we're going to get stuck in and go over the two main events I'm going to be looking out for this week when it comes to trading. Okay, so in terms of what happened last week, there were a couple of things that I picked up on that have really affected my sentiment for this week. So we had the hawkish commentary from the Bank of England. We've had members come out of things such as, maybe a rate hike could be sooner than expected. We've also had suggestions that inflation may not be quite as slow as we expect for the rest of the year. So that, of course, has left us with a somewhat bullish sentiment surrounding the pound. Elsewhere, over in Japan, President Abe has said that the Japanese yen is fairly comfortable now, it's stable, and what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks is that if we have some negative sentiment on one currency, then the Japanese yen seems to be the biggest beneficiary to that negative news. So look out for any strength on the yen. Elsewhere, we did have the Fomc. That came out much more dovish than expected. Now, what's been happening is Yellen especially has been pledging that we need to take a very patient approach when it comes to waiting for a rate hike. Now, market interpretation of that patient approach has up until last week been that we're going to see a rate hike maybe June, July time this year due to the current strength of the dollar, especially when it comes to employment figures. Now, what happened was, with last week's FOMC release, the market perceived it as fairly dovish and more dovish than expected, and we now anticipate that a rate hike may be anything as late as September. So we've seen some weakness shining through on the dollar over the last, especially half a week, and that's kind of set a little bit of a bearish sentiment on the dollar opening up for this week. Elsewhere, we did have a Swiss National Bank commenting on the current value of the dollar Swiss, and we have been told by them that at the moment the Swiss franc is pretty overvalued, especially when it comes to versus the euro. Now, the euro Swiss, it has actually reached a floor of 1.10000. Swiss National Bank have said that it's livable with the Swiss franc being that high against the euro, but only just about. So if the Swiss franc strengthens any more against the euro, the Swiss National Bank have said that they will intervene if necessary to drive down the value of that Swiss. So look out for further news this week or further commentary from the Swiss National Bank relating to that subject. So there are two things to look out for this week. So the first thing is the Euro group and the Greece. So what we've seen is that last week we had a plethora of meetings between the Greece and the Euro group looking for some sort of agreement when it comes to the bailout plans. Now, what's happened is we've got a provisional agreement in place. I say provisional because that deal still hangs, okay? So it's not decided yet, it's just provisional, so you might want to play safe and not start looking to trade into this just yet. So the provisional agreement is a 4-month extension on the Greece bailout programme. Now, this hangs on the approval of new Greek reform proposals that are going to be submitted to the Eurogroup before the end of the day. Now, there's a few things that Greece have mentioned that could be part of these proposals. A couple of things are a tightening or a streamlining of their civil service. Another thing is new laws coming out to really clamp down on tax avoidance, and there's a few other things in there too. Now, two things are going to happen, or one of two things, Either the proposal is accepted, therefore the bailout programme is extended for 4 months. So what this means that Greece stay in the Eurozone for longer, which of course will be perceived to be fairly bullish for the euro. Now, the second thing we're looking out for is, of course, Yellen's semi-annual speech or testimony to Congress. Now, we've already been through the FOMC. Everybody's looking out for further clarification on what Yellen means by having a patient approach when anticipating a rate hike. So we're really looking out to find out a little bit more about when we can expect that rate hike. So they're the two things to listen out for. Now, the Eurogroup stuff, that should be happening at the end of today. Now, there is a Greek national holiday today. However, the proposals do need to be in to the Eurogroup before the end of the day. So listen out for commentary on any acceptance or denial of those proposals. So like I say, if they're accepted, the euro could go up. Now, that would especially be the case against the US dollar at present. Okay, so if we have the news and we have a conclusion to the euro meeting today that the Eurogroup and Greece have agreed to this 4-month extension, then you might want to be trading upwards with the euro-dollar pair. But also listen out to what Yellen says tomorrow and Wednesday. Obviously, the market perception in terms of whether it's bullish or bearish, what comes out from her, is going to set the tone for the week ahead, and I would expect any sentiment to ripple on throughout the week. So they're the two main articles to be listening out for. So both ongoing things that are going to really set the tone for the markets in the upcoming weeks. So that's the analysis for this week. Now, we will be back at the same time next week, so you can either subscribe to this YouTube channel or carry on following whichever blog you found this link on. Another option, head over to fxnewstrader.co.uk. You can sign up to our free mailing list and we'll just send you a link to the video straight to your inbox every week as soon as it's ready for viewing. Okay guys, so have a great trading week, trade safe, and as always listen out for those all-important fundamentals.